narcotics unit. But the problem is, you could put everyone in this room, we could go out and work dope today, and we wouldn't put a dent in it. And you're right about the glamour. I mean, you're right about that. But who fixes that problem? I don't know. You know? But the narcotics units are out there working, and they're out there hitting and getting. And I would catch more grief because I would have Vestavia Hills on my shirt, my Ray jacket, or it would be on one of our vehicles. The biggest question I'd get asked when we just seized, 5 pounds of cocaine out of the house, right? The biggest, why is Vestavia? Well, this is where my kids are coming to get their drugs. I got to deal with the dead overdose kid in my city, but he's getting it here. So I don't know how you fix it, but they're trying. I mean, law enforcement's going as hard as they can, but every police department out there is short. Nobody has the number of officers they're supposed to have right now. Every fire department is short. It's almost like civil service has become not as, it used to be, it took you forever to become a policeman. You had to take tests and go take physical tests and all that. Nobody wants to be the police anymore. Anything else? Well, I appreciate y'all letting me speak. I've given him my card. It's got my email address on it. If anybody has any questions that they didn't want to ask now and they want to send me an email, send it to me. I'll be more than happy to answer it. If I don't know the answer, I'll find out the answer and get back to you. But again, thank y'all. Thank you.
All right, let's get Chad a hand. In addition to what Chad said, I worked at the coroner's office for the last 11 years, and I say probably about 8 years ago when we started seeing teenage suicides, teenage overdoses, which ends up to be teenage suicide because they ingest or consume some fentanyl. It doesn't take but a very small amount of fentanyl to cause a death. And all your street drugs, like these ecstasies these kids are taking these days, they are lined with fentanyl. And what fentanyl does, it overcomes the heart. It stops the heart. It stops the heart. And one practice, and it is quick. It is quick. I've seen lifelong drug addicts. All for 30 years, taking drugs for 30 years. But once they hit something with a fentanyl in it, it kills them immediately. Immediately. So we're dealing with something now that's in our communities. Okay? With fentanyl, there's no geographic area, basically, because fentanyl is everywhere. It's everywhere. One thing they're doing, they are stretching the drugs. They put fentanyl in there for cheap. They're making the drug cheaper, but it's giving you the same high. And causing lives. It causes lives. Majority of the overdoses, the teenage overdoses I've seen that has to be transported to the hospital, the first thing they do is give them a Narcan, give them that Narcan shot. And Chad's right. That's the only thing that can balance. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's why I think it's so important that as far as parents and adults, we try to go to the health department to see if we can get those Narcan nasal sprays, because it could be your child that needs that spray. And the thing about it is, if you miscalculate what the issue is, Narcan won't hurt. If you still use it, it won't hurt. But it's better to do it on that scene rather than getting to the hospital, because time is of the essence at that time. So if someone's there with Narcan, you think someone overdosed, we give it to them, they have a better chance of surviving. That's it. But who is West? Is West to walk out? Okay. Like I said, thank y'all for having me.
Thank those presenters for coming in and telling us about this fentanyl. It is bad, and I hope and pray that you all paid attention to everything that's going on. Be mindful, young people, be mindful of everything that is happening, that is going on around you, because all of us are being affected about whatever. I've been talking about Christian Washington. They did this video, they made this movie called Domino Effect. That's my favorite movie. And the Domino Effect is very good. It's a good movie. And we hope and pray that we can get it and show it again, because we showed it at Mount Pilgrim. And I think it came in #1 and it was #1, Reverend Washington, where it was in New York when he got that, it was Los Angeles that he got that award in the Domino Effect. So you all need to see that movie, and hopefully we can show it again. Okay, right now we'll have some more. Do we have any youth that would like to do a talent? I know sometimes this is your first time, but we usually have our youth that's present to do a talent. Do anybody of our young people want to do a talent? So you can get ready, and we're going to ask a few more questions, and then we're going to pull some names, draw some names, and then we'll have our next lecture will be Dr. Carl Hill, Sr., from the pastor of Zion Star Baptist Church, and he will bring us on mental wellness and pros and cons about social media.
How many disciples did Jesus choose? Correct. Name the book in the Bible in the New Testament that comes after 3 John and right before the book of Revelations. Correct. Name the second son born to Eve. Correct. Where did Adam and Eve first live? What is the first book of the New Testament? No.
It is Matthew, but for some reason I wrote the wrong name down. So it is the book of Matthew. So you would be right. Okay. So laying on my little head, I wrote, I don't know, I was thinking about wrong.
What instrument did David play? Correct.
Okay, oh, that's it for the youth, we'll go with the adults.
The last three digits are 315. The last three digits are 326. Last digits 333. Last digits 323. 323. Last digits 306.
Okay, good. We just move along, and we will have our next presenter is Reverend Dr. Carl Hill, Senior, from the Zion Star Missionary Baptist Church, and he's going to do mental wellness, social media, and pros and cons. Let us welcome him.
Good morning, everybody. Let me try it again. Good morning. Still that time. Good morning. Good morning. You got me mic'd up, but you got to follow me too because I'm supposed to lecture, but I'm gonna be a little bit disobedient. I am not going to lecture. I will lecture, I will talk, but I'm gonna get in your face. Is that okay? Because I'm a teacher, and I like to get in your face because I know behavior, and I know when you're paying attention and when you have checked out. So what I want anybody to check out. How many in here have had a cold? How many had a cold? You had a cold? How did you feel when you had that cold? Kind of miserable, huh? Just kind of sick. That's physical. Anybody know what you say when I say mental? In your mind, in your mind. So just like you can be physically sick, you can be sick in your mind. That's on the extreme level. Now, what I meant by a cold, that cold didn't stop you from going and doing what you needed to do, did it? It wasn't very debilitating unless it got real bad. Sometimes you have a cold and they say, well, you take your little medicine, you do this, and you keep going, right? That's the physical wellness. Now, you can be not well mentally and still going forward. So let's look at this. Now, preventive medicine, right? Everybody in here got coats today, don't you? The folks didn't let you out that door without a coat, did you? Why? Because if you didn't carry that coat and hat in the cold, what was going to happen? You're going to get sick. And then you ask yourself today, why did you come today? Why did you come today? Because mom made you, didn't you? Okay, I understand. I've been at Mount Pilgrim when I was your age, been there. Saturday morning, who wants to go cartoons in them days, and you're gonna make me get up and go do that? So what was the purpose for it? Why did they make you come today? to learn. They wanted to have your mental wellness. Just like you put that coat on, your folks wanted you to have some mental wellness. Mental wellness is to prevent things. Did anybody hear about all of those drugs? Nobody in here is a drug addict, are they? Everybody in here is a potential drug addict. Everybody in here is a potential. If you don't put the right things in your mind, you can become a drug addict. Easily. Very easily. If you don't know how to fight it. Now, when you're thinking, what class did you take today? Anybody remember what class? Who's that again? Queen in You. Queen is special, isn't it? That was teaching you about the royalty in you. The mind that's in you. That you are not servant to anybody but God unless you're working to help somebody. That was to put that in your mind so that you can be well in society. Because there are people in society don't want you to know that you are a queen or a king. They will tell you that you are nobody. But when you're prepared in your mind, your wellness, then you will know who you are. Anybody in here know who they are right now? Anybody know? I'm coming because to see if I ask the question, teacher's going to do what? They want to answer, don't they? So that was a question. So I'm going to come and ask, who are you? Who are you? Oh, yes, oh, yes, ma'am. I got dead in your face. Yes, ma'am. Told you I was coming, didn't I? Child of God. Does that make a difference? Why? Is it because we're in church and you say you're a child of God because you're in church? No. It makes a difference because you identify with God. That means you are a part of God. Does God want you to be a drug addict? Why not? You reach a spiritual level, don't you? Not a holy, is it? It is demonic. Anybody know when I said demonic? What that mean when I said demonic? Of the devil, evil. There is an evil presence in our country and in our world who wants to destroy you. But if you're not mentally well, you won't be able to see it or identify or know what evil is. That's what the mental wellness is to know and be able to. Do you know what evil is? Anybody in the young folks know what evil is? I know we teach it in church and we teach, what's evil, baby? A bad thing. You want to know how to stop fentanyl from coming into our community? That answer right there. He's mentally well to understand something bad. Now we have to teach him in our mental wellness to put the two together. Bad, fentanyl equals bad again, and you can die. Mental wellness to make sure that we are strong in our minds. How many of you enjoy school? Lord, you're going to be something else. How many of you enjoy going to school? You don't, do you? Lord, they don't lie, do they? Why is school not an enjoyment? Why? Long hours. And it gets boring. And they do what, baby? And you're not getting paid. These are great answers. These are great answers. Long hours, and you don't get paid. You don't think you're getting paid, but you are getting paid. Have you ever heard of putting something in the bank? Anybody know what an investment is? You ever had a savings account and you go to your savings account and somebody said, we're going to add a little bit more money to it if you just let it here stay a long time? That's education. If you get it long enough, after a while, anybody know what the term dividends mean? That means you got something in your pocket. The education that you have is not always going to guarantee you a job, but it's going to guarantee you the opportunity to get one. That's mental wellness. You don't see the dividends right now, the long hours that you put in right now. Anybody want to know how long I had to work before I could not and do what I wanted to do? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It took a long time and had to work 3 jobs so I could sit down now and do what I want to do. For at a minimum of 40 years. Anybody here 40 years old? Yeah. See? That's how long I had to work to be able to do what I wanted to do. So you think long hours? I had to work one time 4 hours on and 4 hours off for 24 hours, for 48 hours. Know how long that is? You don't sleep. Because you can't sleep 4 hours, then you got to get right back up for 4 hours. That's the kind of job I had. What does that got to do with mental wellness? Mental wellness and mental toughness. That you're able to survive in life by knowing who you are, whose you are. When I say whose you are, anybody know what that means? Who do you belong to? She just said, I'm a child of God, so that means God is going to protect you. You come here to learn that so that as life goes on, you'll be able to know how to protect yourself, to be a part of society, to be well in your mind so that you can be a product of God, to be used by God for a reason. Everybody in here is here for a reason by God. You can't see it right now in school, okay? You can't see it them long hours. I agree with you, and I won't tell you that the educational system in America, I ain't pleased with it, but it's going to change. It's going to change. But the mental wellness. And what does that have to do with social media and all of that? We want to get the mental wellness. How many of you utilize social media? I know you folks told you not to, but you can kind of nod at me and blink and stuff. You know, you can do that. I can check you right quick. Use social media. How many of you believe that social media is the way to communicate with each other? Why do you use social media? You just read it sometimes? Or just look at what's going on? You felt bad when they hit TikTok for about 24 hours. It wasn't even 24 hours, was it? They knocked it out. What was so good about TikTok? You can do what? You can shape it, you can change it, you can tape it. Entertainment. Awesome. Is there good entertainment and bad entertainment? How do you know the difference? How do you know what's good or bad for you? You don't, do you? When you're able in your mind and been taught to be able to distinguish the two, then you'll know what's good entertainment and what's bad entertainment. That's why you come to these types of classes, so that you can identify in your life what's good for you and what's not. Remember we told you put that coat on for not to catch a cold? You're putting something on your mind so that when you see TikTok, you'll know. How many of you seen on TikTok where they said that the King James Bible is of the devil and King James was homosexual, he was gay, and he was the worst person on the planet? And y'all seen that on TikTok? Keep looking, you'll see it. See, I'm old and I be out there. My kids say, Dad, stay off of Instagram and TikTok because you just be mad all the time every time you see it. Because there's information that's out there that's a lie. And telling you about even reading the Bible. Any of y'all seen on Instagram that y'all worship God, but you worshiping a white God? Any of y'all seen that? That your religion is white? How many of y'all believe that? Why didn't you believe it? Why didn't you? I told you I'm a teacher, I see behavior. Why didn't you believe it? Because you did what? You can speak up, you're a queen. Queens stand up and do this and speak up. So why? Because you learned it where? At your church. If you hadn't learned it at your church, you wouldn't have known that it was a lie, would you? How many of your friends that don't go to church don't know that it's a lie? That's being mentally tough. He didn't write it. Yeah, all those things he said he was. Oh yeah, he was a horrible person. But he didn't write it. He just made it so that we can get out. God uses bad people sometimes to do good. It got out and it's been around for over 700 years now with good words in it. But he wanted it for a bad reason, and it didn't turn out that way. So this is what we have to, and oh, back to the white thing. You can't live in Africa and be white, okay? I'm not being prejudiced, but the sun doesn't allow it. It just doesn't. And if you hide in Egypt, which is dark people, you have to be what? Look like them to hide, can't you? Read your Sunday school lesson as to who went to Egypt for 3 years to hide in Egypt. Mental wellness. Mental wellness. This is what we're doing. Now back on, see, I'm wrapping all of this up with social media because all of these things are out on social media. Social media is great. I came in Dr. Cunningham's church and then here they got all this great technology and I'm like, we got to bring us into the 21st century. It is great. The messages that you have, I like TikTok because there's some stuff out there, I be in tears. There be some good things, just laughing. I see some silly stuff that's out there that's just funny and it's good entertainment. They have the babies out there doing things and saying stuff and they're like, that's my grandchild, Lord Jesus. And it's good, but you have to, in your mind, be able to turn off that's not good and turn on that's good. Social media as a whole is a good thing because we can get and we can talk. When I was your age, all I had was the Jetsons as a cartoon. See, I dated myself, and the Flintstones. See, I dated myself. I never knew that I could use this right here and talk on it when Elroy Jetson used to do it. I didn't think it was going to ever happen. And when James Jetson would get on the screen and talk, that was just a cartoon for me. I didn't know that it was going to be real in my lifetime. So guess what? The things that you have right now, your children are going to laugh at you because you're going to be so far advanced in your minds. Anybody know a scripture that's told to us about a mind? Oh, I got to have some good grown young folks in here now. We in the real Bible. Anybody know anything? What is that? What does it say? Let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus. Anybody know what kind of mind Jesus had? That's one of the questions you should know if you learn in school. Don't just take when you learn in Sunday school and just take it and don't ask questions, okay? What does Jesus' mind mean to you? What does your mind mean to you? The way you think, right? And what you think is the way you act, right? So you want to have how Jesus thought and how Jesus acted, and you want to do the same thing. That's what that mind means. What kind of behavior? Let me look at this. You won that question. What kind of behavior do you have? Yes, ma'am. What kind of behavior do you have? How would you tell me about you? You're a good person. How you know? You believe them? Why? Because they told you the good thing, huh? What if they lied to you? How would you not know? You're a queen, aren't you? By the king of existence, and you behave like him sometimes. Every now and then. Most of the time. See, she can understand. That's her mind understands her behavior, and she believes in herself. How many of you have believed in yourself? And I know my time is waning. Believe in yourself. I'm getting back to social media with that. Because social media will tell you who you ought to be. That's not good. That's not good. You have to be different, okay? And allow your difference to live forever. Be different. Don't always have to be the one just amongst the crowd. You have to be different, okay? You have to be different. Let me give you a story of me from many, many, many years ago, because when I was in high school, some of your grandparents were probably just being born. So that's about how long ago that was. We were juniors in high school, and we were always messing around in the band room. You know, folk call band folk geeks and all that kind of stuff. That they kind of stupid, and you know, all they want to do is have that music. Took me to school though, got me degrees, all of that. But we were messing around in the band room one day. We were juniors, and the drummers came up with a cadence, and we just like, anybody know what a cadence is? It's a drum beat, right? And it's a certain way. And we just started, then we all had this friend by the name of Curtis, and Curtis was kind of, anybody had any wild friends that just, not bad, just wild. And we all just started dancing and doing around with the drum beat, and we all got to doing the same thing. And we said to our band director, can we do this when we march next year? He said, I don't know about in the show, but when you come off the field, you can do it. So we were seniors. I got to be drum major that year. So we're gonna do it after we come off the field. And do you know what we did that year has been done for 50-some years at Winona High School, and it's called the Dragon Strut. For 50-some years, what we were playing around with in the band room has been a part of a high school for 50-some years. That's you, and that's you, all of you in here. Your mind, what you think about doing, can become real, and you can help somebody for the rest of their life. You don't know what God has for you until your mind is mentally tough. Utilize social media for the good and understand what's the bad part of it and throw it away. The old saying and the old Negro peanut principle. See, I done took you back again. Anybody know what a peanut is? What's a peanut? It's a food. You know, how do you eat the peanut? You take it out the shell, and then what you do? And you throw the rest of the shell away. That's life. You take the best and you throw the rest away. That's the Negro peanut principle. All of that stuff that's out there is not good for you. So you take the best of it and let the rest go. You stay off drugs that way. Don't let anybody tell you about how high you can get. Folks tell me now, please come down because I'm on a different kind of high. I'm on a spiritual high. They say, you need to, the wife always tell me, come on back, baby. Come on down. Come on. But that's where you have to be in life, okay? Okay. Questions. I know I took up more than time that you wanted me, but that's what mental wellness is. Being healthy mentally. Social media is a tool that has been given for us to use for the glory of God, to help each other to communicate. Evil wants to take a part of that too. Don't allow it. Don't let them tell you that social media is not good, because it's not true. It is good. But bad things are there. But you have to know what's good and what's bad. Questions for me? Questions for me? See, if I was a teacher, I'd find out what you know. Anybody know how teachers find out what you know? They give you a test, don't they? Y'all better set something before I sit down. I'm going to give you a test. Anybody want to take a test right quick? See, somebody saved you. Yes, ma'am. That discernment? Yes, ma'am. Discernment. Anybody heard that word and know what that term means? Discernment means being able spiritually to know what's right and wrong. It's already in you. It's already there. Trust it, because you have been taught from your parents since you was littler than him